The Xenomorph is finally back and is as badass as ever. Here's my review of Alien Covenant. Hey guys, how are you? Alien Covenant is directed by Ridley Scott, as was the original Alien movie and Prometheus, and it is indeed a sequel to Prometheus, but a prequel to Alien. And this movie takes where Prometheus took us and leaves behind all of the stuff that none of us cared about and moves forward with what we all wanted. An Alien movie. The Xenomorph, as I mentioned earlier, is finally back, and it is pretty damn cool to see it on screen again. Ridley Scott took some risks with Prometheus, most of which I feel didn't really work out. It wasn't the best of movies, and I'm happy to say, in my opinion, Alien Covenant is a massive improvement on Prometheus. So in Alien Covenant, the crew of the Covenant are on a colonization mission to colonize a new planet. They're in a cryo sleep and they're about 7 years away from their intended planet when an incident in space brings them out of sleep and they have to fix the ship. When they do, they find that they are closer to a planet that actually looks a lot better than the planet that they were intending to look for. In fact, it looks too good to be true. So they head there to check it out and see if it's somewhere they can possibly colonize and build a future. Now, one of the great things about this movie is the fact that it looks absolutely beautiful. The attention to detail that Ridley Scott has put into this film is breathtaking. There is an absolutely gorgeous set design. The art direction is fantastic. Even the CG elements are absolutely done flawlessly, and the film looks absolutely awesome. A lot of the movie does have green screen elements, but there is so much that is actually there and real, and you can tell this film looks absolutely fantastic, and I don't think anyone will be able to pick any flaws with how this film looks. The tones, the lighting, absolutely everything. Ridley Scott has, as he always does. I mean, just look at the original Alien movie. Now, what we do start to get is a few answers to questions that were raised in Prometheus, and it leads us to the eventual point of where Alien will get to in 1, 2, 3, however many films Ridley Scott decides he's going to make in this series of prequels this week. But we do start to get answers to questions that were raised, and we do see threads that were left dangling explored, and that is something that is absolutely brilliant. And I would love to see that moving forward. This film is kind of a hybrid between Prometheus and Alien. We get a kind of mishmash between the two films, and a lot of the time it works. It does answer a lot of questions that were raised in Prometheus. We also get to see where the film series is eventually going to go when we get to Alien. Having said that, because the film is a kind of hybrid, we get a lot of the thought-provoking aspects that we got in Prometheus, but we do get a lot of the action points that we would expect from an Alien movie. And that, for the most part, works. And it really ramps up in the third act, which I was certainly looking forward to. But it kind of felt slightly off. The acting is first class. Michael Fassbender is brilliant. Danny McBride is absolutely fantastic as Tennessee. These guys really pull it out of the bag. And we get a fantastic interaction between all of the characters. In fact, one of the things that certainly reminded me of in this movie is how similar it is to the original Alien movie. In so many ways, this is a kind of soft reboot of the Alien franchise, and it draws so many parallels with that original Alien movie. Now, Michael Fassbender has a lot of work to do in this movie. He plays two characters. He plays David, who he played in Prometheus. He also plays another AI called Walter, and the workload that he has in this movie is absolutely immense. But one thing I will say is he absolutely owns every scene he's in. He is absolutely perfect. And every single second he's on screen, you cannot take your eyes off him. One of my favourite characters in the movie, however, is Tennessee, played by Danny McBride, who when I first saw the movie wasn't too sure about at the beginning, but as the movie goes on, you really do start to understand this character, you start to get close to this character, and he is absolutely brilliant, and probably my top pick of actors in this movie. I absolutely think he was brilliant. I'm not going to get into any spoilers here, but the action scenes in this movie are absolutely fantastic. They kick ass, and there was times where I just literally was staring at the screen blankly in awe. The film builds an absolutely fantastic sense of realism, and the set design, the lighting, the whole direction. I was totally engrossed in this universe, and there was times when I was literally just staring at the screen and could not take my eyes off it. I didn't even go for my Maltesers. It was that absolutely brilliantly engrossing. Katherine, who plays Daniels, does a pretty decent job, given that she is written in a way that is very much like a Ripley clone. She does a good job with the acting, I don't really have any problems with that, but her character is written in such a way that you can't help but compare her to Sigourney Weaver in the original movie. And that is something I didn't really want to do, because Sigourney Weaver is absolutely the best you're ever going to get in this franchise with this sort of character. But in fairness to Katherine Waterston, she does a good job. She doesn't act badly, she acts really well. But the comparison is always there, and it's always in the back of your head, especially when we get towards the end of the movie, which I'm not going to spoil, but you just can't help drawing the parallel between the two characters. So in terms of the Xenomorph, which most people going to watch an Alien movie are expecting and wanting to see, we do get to see it. We get to see various different versions of it throughout the movie, and we get to learn a little bit more about him. The score by Jed Kurzow really evokes memories of the original Alien movie, which Jerry Goldsmith of course did, and this takes cues from that score and really pays homage to that film. But we also get cues and the feeling from the Prometheus movie, so we get a nice mishmash of the scores between the two. And the musical score for this movie sounds brilliant. I really enjoyed listening to it. It sounds good, and it really evokes a lot of the feelings, the tension, and the things you could want from this sort of movie. It really does help the movie in a lot of ways. So bringing everything together, looking at it as a whole, things I liked about the movie, I loved the fact that it didn't go completely the way that Prometheus did. I thought Prometheus was okay, but I was never a big fan of it. I prefer the Alien movies themselves, and this goes more in the direction of Alien with a few strands answered from Prometheus. So that was pretty good. The Xenomorph looks amazing. You can tell a lot of it is CGI, and it moves damn fast. When the shit hits the fan, it moves fast. And we also get to see the facehugger too, and aliens popping out of people's chests. The things I didn't like is, tonally, the film is generally pretty good, but moving into the third act, the tone of the movie does change, and I would like to have seen a slightly more consistent tone throughout the movie. That's a small gripe. I'm not really bitching about that, because on the whole I really enjoyed watching the movie. The 2 hours it was on literally just flew. Even though I was absolutely exhausted when I watched it, I could not take my eyes off the screen. I'm going to give Alien Covenant 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed this movie. It's not as good as the original Alien movie. It's not as good as Aliens by James Cameron. It's certainly an improvement to Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and I preferred it to Prometheus. So yeah, all in all, I enjoyed the movie. I think it's certainly a good time at the movies. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up if you like this review. Why not subscribe while you're here, and let me know down below what you thought of the movie. If you've not seen it yet, when are you planning on seeing it, and which is your favourite Alien movie? Let me know. Let's get a conversation going down below. I'll see you really soon for another review. Thanks for watching. See you later.